Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Noor Anis Binti Rahmat and my metric number is 2519276. And today I will be reviewing a paper about 6G, which is the next generations of mobile network technology. The paper is called Towards Standardizations of 6G and Next G, and it was published in the IEEE journal on selected areas in communications in 2026. Next, the reason I choose this paper because 6G is no longer just a future idea. It is already being planned right now. In March 2025, a major international 3GPP workshop officially kicked off 6G standardizations with over 700 participants. As someone studying networking, I found it really useful to understand what the next generations actually looks like from a technical and industry perspective. Besides, the paper is basically a tutorial. The authors explain that 6G shouldn't just push for higher speeds like peak data rates. Instead, the focus should be on better coverage, especially for users at the edge of a network, energy efficiency, and brand new services like AI and sensing. They cover all the key technologies being considered for 6G from the perspective both industry and research. Let's move on. The paper covers a lot of technologies. The main ones are first, AI native design, which means AI is built into 6G from the start, not at the later like in 5G. Second, massive MIMO, or known as MIMO, which use a huge number of antennas. There are possibly over 1,000 to improve coverage and capacity. The third one, ISAC, which stands for Integrated Sensing and Communications. This is where the same network signal is used to both communicate data and detect the objects around you, like a radar. And finally, satellite integration so that the 6G can cover remote and rural areas that ground towers can't reach. Furthermore, this paper is very strong in terms of credibility. The authors work at Apple, Virginia Tech, and Thales Alenia Space, so they have a real industry experience. It is also a great overview of everything happening in 6G right now. However, one weakness I noticed is that it's because it covers so many topics at the same time. So some parts feel like they are just listing things without going deep enough. So also there are no real experiments or results. And it is more of a guide for what people are planning to do. And honestly, a lot of the timeline is still uncertain. Even the paper says the first 6G specs won't be done before 2029. So as a student, one thing I feel was missing is accessibility. This paper is written for an expert, so that it would be really helpful if there was a version simplified for students or government policymakers who need to understand 6G but aren't engineers. I also think the paper would be stronger if it included some simulations or comparisons showing how much better 6G actually performs over than the 5G, even in early stages. And finally, the paper mostly focuses on the advanced countries. I like to see more discussions on how 6G can benefit developing regions that still struggle with basic connectivity. And the paper does mention about the ubiquitous coverage and the digital divide, but doesn't go into much detail on how to solve it practically. So, How does this apply in real life? One of the most exciting applications is healthcare. 6G ultra low latency could support remote surgery, where a doctor operates a robot from hundreds of kilometers away. And another example is smart cities using ISEC, and the same network signal can detect the road hazards or monitor air quality and also track traffic all at once. And in disaster situations like floods or earthquakes, satellite integrations mean that people in affected area can still get the signals even if ground towers are destroyed. So for Malaysia specifically, 6G NTN technology could finally bring proper connectivity to rural areas, especially in Sabah and Sarawak. To sum up, I think this paper is a really valuable resource. It is clearly shows that 6G is more than just a speed upgrade, and it is trying to redesign how networks work from the ground up with AI, sensing, satellites, and energy efficiency all built in from day one. So of course, it is still early days and a lot of the challenges mentioned in the paper haven't been solved yet. But it gives a solid picture of where the world is heading with wireless communications. So for anyone studying networking, I think this is definitely a must read. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.